Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I can't see mine and I just couldn't remember if.
I believe in the very, very upper right is the list of all of the participants, and you're able to locate. Okay, fantastic.
Hello.
All right, so we're live on YouTube right now. Welcome everybody. This is we're going to be starting our session in a few moments. And panel, we're going to go broadcast in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started in just a few moments here. We're going to let the room fill a bit. In the meantime, let us know where you're watching from in the chat.
Wonderful.
Doing good.
Good. So far, so good.
Yeah, excited to be here. Not bad.
Well, to be here.
We're excited to see what you guys have in store.
I'm trying to. This is Friday night. This is my night at the club usually. So.
About a long time ago.
I think those club days are long over. But hey, I got club quarantine on Friday nights with Be Nice. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That works.
We need that pumped into this session.
That would be amazing.
On that note, let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to the first multi-artist discussion and drawing session.
Yay.
Everybody's just going at it.
Yeah.
Everyone's mad serious. Like, all right, let's do this. Let's.
No, it's like just heads down. Right? Heads down.
I've been in meetings all day, man. I couldn't wait to draw.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, on our next slide, we have a nice, exciting Lightbox exclusive offer for everybody. 10% off the Mobile Studio Pro with code Lightbox2020. Just visit our e-store link right there and use the code. And without further ado, let's get started. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Let's do it. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to hand it over to our host, Dwight Clark. Dwight, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lightbox Online, first official one put on by various artists from around the world. We have some very extravagant and interesting individuals with us here today. Recognize my voice. It's not my fault. I hosted a show a long time ago called Sidebar, where a few people are kind of familiar with me, may not be. But we have a lot of really great attendance and artists here with us today. First and foremost, we have Mr. Everett Downing, Jr.
Going.
We have Mr. Phil Boutte. I hope I pronounced it right. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right. You got it right.
Good.
If it's not funny, you're not saying it right.
Nice. We got Miss Chrystin Garland.
Chrystin Garland.
Nice.
Oh, it's theme music. That's
We got to see it.
theme music. I want theme music.
Look, don't be jealous, okay? They come to our rehearsals. Gosh.
There's a soundtrack coming, guys. There's a soundtrack coming.
Leave it to the ladies. The ladies always have their stuff together.
Okay. We've got Mr. Justin Copeland.
What's up, everybody?
Mr. Chase Coneley.
Yo, what up? I don't have a special intro or anything like that. You know?
That was special enough. That was special enough. And I need help here, so I'm gonna try, but don't clown me. It's Adrian. How do you pronounce your name, buddy?
Uh,
Yes.
Oh, Hi.
Hi. I didn't put you on the spot.
You're like, who, me?
I thought you were going to say Ifesinachi. You said Adrian.
Okay,
I think that was it.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you. I've got Mr. Kofi, I think. Kofi, you here? Okay.
Kofi is not in here. Damn.
That's cool. He'll show up. DJ Welch.
Right here. What's up?
What's going on? And Mr. Sanford Greene.
Present.
Yes.
Sandman, what's going on, buddy?
Man.
Long week. Time.
Long week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's
This
good to
is
hear
10
you.
years in the making, man.
Right?
I think one of my first interviews was with Sidebar.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I do not recommend going back to listen to it at all.
Now I want to.
Well, I do. He was good person to have on at the time and talk to and chat about his career and things like that. So, you guys are working hard drawing. So, I can ask some general questions if you like, or if you just like to draw and tell me what you're drawing, or it's up to you.
Ask away. I say let's get into it.
Yeah. That's all the things.
Let's get all in our business.
All right. Well, I sent out a basic clarion call to you guys earlier through social media, especially on Instagram, asking what you'd like to name this talk. And we came up with several good ideas. I liked a lot of ideas everybody came up with, especially Miss Chrystin. And
just always on it. She's just on it.
I try to be involved.
Right? She did. She's very much involved.
Put my
And we narrowed it down. And
Sanford, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm going to move it over.
That's awesome, guys.
How about that?
Yay.
Yay.
You guys are going at it fast. Wow.
Getting in there.
This is what happens when you get a group of Titans together. We go at it.
Right? Right? So I guess one of the questions I can ask you is, how important is networking for you guys in this day and age of digital social media?
Oh, man.
More important than ever, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So I'll admit, I haven't touched my Instagram in such a long time. I've needed to take a really self-care step back away from it. Yeah.
I've actually
I'm too tired for social media.
That's real though. I think you definitely need to take breaks every once in a while, so you're not just doom scrolling.
Yeah. I know.
Outside of the the social climate and everything like that, I got a detox from art when I'm overexposed. You know what I mean? I get too inspired.
Yeah.
And it gets me off of my path. You know what I'm saying? Because you see something dope and it's like, yo, I want to try it. And then
it can wreck you.
Instagram, it's just like so much great art is available, readily available.
I have a doppelganger who just constantly, it's just like a vacuum for everybody looking for me. So it's kind of interesting where I don't know the importance of it then, I know for me, it's nice to catch up with all these fine folks. I mean, most of the people on here I know very personally, but it's nice to be in touch with people, I think that if all the people that quote unquote follow me actually follow me, I don't know if we'll be over there.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
I think
there he is.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
you made it.
What's up, man?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I joined a bit late. I was actually asleep because of the.
Always asleep. Oh my gosh. Every time.
I love it.
Crazy.
I love it.
But I told you to set an alarm, didn't I?
Yeah, because of the time zone, it's right now, it's 1:10 at dawn in the morning.
Oh, wow.
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 Yeah. So Wow, it's crazy.
Apologies.
So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Dude, don't
Yeah.
feel bad. Don't feel bad. We were all asleep.
Man, wow. But it's awesome to be here.
Yes.
Yeah. Whew.
Awesome.
It's funny, Chase. I feel you on, like, you got to take a break sometimes because it'll throw you off your game. Like, you see some stuff and you're like, you start chasing it and it's like, no, I can't do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rough.
Like,
It's really.
It's real, and it's so easy, man. Because I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's just an influx of like incredible art. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I've seen before. I guess it's just because you know, you can share information so easily, which I think the best part about social media, being able to answer people's questions when they reach out, and specificity, especially like, like, oh, here's a photo, blah blah blah. Send them some references and things like that. That stuff goes a long way, man. Especially for me early on, when I was trying to problem solve and try to figure out what my form of expression was.
You know what's interesting now? I think because of what is happening in our country, social media, I think, has brought events together like this, and even more specifically, has brought together creative minds, specifically like ourselves. Although we know one another, I think it has, in a lot of ways, it's galvanized us in a lot of ways, and it's made us even more. It's made us even more socially, alert of the talents that we have here, the diverse talents, if you will. I'm always checking for pretty much all you guys for the most part. I usually part of it is because of competition, but
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but seriously, it's mainly because I think every one of you is you're so talented, and we if we're not championing one another, then who will?
Right.
And
right.
And I think it's very easy to kind of assume that our talent is going to speak for itself, and that's true. But I think now more than ever, the more that we share each other's skill sets, it's just that collective voice. It tends to ring louder. People are looking, but I think even more so now, they're seeing us come together, and I think that's pretty special.
I like the effect that it has on kids that are younger, and they reach out to me and they're like, "Yo, man, I've been looking at your stuff since I was a kid," which makes me feel some kind of way. But it's like, especially whenever I don't know, it feels so much easier to find people that look like you, that have a similar mind state than ever before. It's just crazy to see how good these kids are. You know what I mean? It's a little intimidating, slightly.
But I've been looking at your stuff since I was in high school.
That didn't help.
Justin and Sanford.
Yeah, I was, before Sanford got here, I was talking about I got a chance to see him at every free comic book day in Charlotte, and how much that meant to me. You know what I mean? Going back to Heroes Con all those years ago, and it kept me in the game, especially back when you guys were doing the Artzilla thing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man,
dude.
Oh yeah, and the Wu-Tang comic. Y'all had the Wu-Tang comic.
I'll tell you what, man. That Artzilla collective was kind of our attempt to bring together diverse voices, but I don't think the industry was ready for that many diverse voices. it was a little too I guess. I think even when we try to mix it up, we put Ed McGuinness in there, say, hey, you got this
right. That's fine.
It still didn't work. It was too diverse. We'll say that. But no, it was a lot of talent in that, and I think it allowed guys like Chase and like Justin and your brother Justin, Chris and Kaiser and all those guys. That's how we met.
Right.
That's when we knew that, man, there's so much talent out here, man. It would be incredible to be able to see that talent take off, and we felt like we were part of something really, really cool at the time, even though the industry wasn't really ready for us like that.
Definitely.
So Chase, you definitely made a brother feel some kind of way when I saw your talent. I'm like, man, this young brother is coming with some serious heat at such a young age, and it was kind of empowering to see someone like you, just out of high school already on that level, and how you took to us, and we felt like we had a responsibility to some degree. Like, man, we can't,
I feel like that.
Yeah.
You guys put me on game like really early, like you, Caron. You know what I mean? Put me on. And Brian Stelfreeze. You guys took me over to Brian Stelfreeze. He's like the Jedi Master. You know what I'm saying? Like
the of all of us,
strongest with the Force. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you strong with the Force.
Yeah. And he definitely. It was interesting because that was the first thing you guys was like, yo, go over here, let him review your portfolio, and he gave me a crit that I still use to this day, which is really crazy. So,
that's dope.
Yeah, dude, like it was instrumental. I look forward to that because that was the one time I got to see Black faces throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like Heroes Con, because all you guys would get up at that one city. And I met Chris and Justin there that one year. Karan was there one year with you guys as well. That was great. Good times.
That was epic. This young brother came in. The thing I love about Chase is he don't seem as humble as he is. Cause he's he come in looking all fresh. Them drawings out. Them drawings is a joke, dude, 19 years old, and he was just like, I'm just trying to learn, man. And we were like, damn. The humility was very much out front, and he still got it to this day. He always called me up, like I'm his uncle or something like that. Like, what's up?
But you have an answer, though. You have the answers. Like, I feel like I gotta harass you.
I love it.
I look for questions. You know what I mean? But no, that's the greatest part. And like I said, with that being, especially to the social media point, like having to look forward to that one time in the year. Now that's like every day, every minute for something.
Yeah.
That's it's crazy.
I figured my head was way too big, so I want to make it smaller.
Thank you, man.
I had the big old head. There you go. I had the big old head.
I will say this, even like we talk about social networking, like when everything went down this year, nothing has been better than actually hearing voices on the phone.
Yeah.
Calling up people and like, what's up, man? Like, how are you really? That's been real great. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel.
It has been good. I will say too, a bunch of you guys with your talent, like there's a point where I'm like, oh man, I can do comics and I can do animation. I tried to mess around for a little while. I felt like I couldn't hang. I'm like, nah, I can't hang. I'm good in animation. I'm not really added to the equation here. I'm out, but just like something about the past, like 2020, it's like I've been really needing to get plugged back into, just people and You know what I mean? Like we're so separated right now. It's kind of ridiculous, and you really see how important having these relations is. You know?
Yeah. That's why
and even on like
it's like hitting you up or hitting up Peter or one of y'all, just because like I for me I need that. I need the just everything, you know, and I don't know. Like I have my housemate, I have my cats, you know, I have my coworkers obviously, but I don't know, something about talking to like you and Chrystin and Peter and, you know, sometimes Frank or just anyone really, I feel real good about that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I tend to fall into this mode where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be a bother to anybody. So I don't reach out, you know. Yeah. So I'm really happy to have people in my life like Brie and who will reach out and be like, what are you doing right now?
Always.
Let's hang out.
You know me. I gotta bother you. I gotta bother both of you. It's my job.
But it's not a bother at all. Like I super appreciate it, because otherwise I'll just take it just sink it to my couch.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like picking off on what you guys were saying about how the internet like has helped to bring like a lot of like creatives and artists together. Like it's funny, like it's basically the internet that has helped me like to this point in terms of like bridging the gap between connecting me to all of you guys and so many other phenomenal artists across the globe. Because without the internet, I wouldn't be able to show my work out there. I'll just be in my own small part of the world. But it's really a powerful tool, and it's been a great help, definitely.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for Instagram, because that's how, I mean, that put me on to you, Kofi, and to like Ify. So same, you know, I saw you guys, I was like, oh, I need to work with these people. What is going on? You know, like,
and we be friends.
Yes.
Never seen before. Like just when you stumble across somebody's work, it's just like it hits it on all notes. You know.
Yes.
You still get that it still feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So good.
Ife is ruining it for all over the world. He's like, yo, man, I don't got this, I don't got that. And you're like, yo, this young man is in Africa scraping it together, and he's bored.
Yeah.
So no excuses, man. My man is bringing the heat. You can too. Yeah.
And I appreciate that too, keeping us all honest. Like, all right, okay, it's like that. Okay.
I see you. You see me.
Like, I see you.
You guys kind of give birth to me, all of you. Because really, while I was coming up, I used to look at Chase, Chris, Justin. I used to remember a time when I would try to ink like Sanford, but God, I still, yeah.
I'm still trying to ink like Sanford.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure it out,
man. Got a person by the name of Ernesto Alonso says all the best artists in South Africa, or in Africa, the African continent. So, good job, Kofi.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Super talented in Africa.
I think that's the one thing about when I go online and I see all this talent of color. I look at two things. I look at how young they are and if they're from Africa.
I love that so much.
Because there just seems to be this influx every every few years. There's a part of the world where you see all this talent just have an influx of talent come from a certain part of the world.
Yeah.
A few years ago, it was the Philippines, and a few years before that, a lot of Asian artists. But now it's It's Africa. Of course, it should always be Africa, but
it's awesome. South Africa, crazy.
Yeah, and I guess like because of in a way because of even with the limited resources, like the hunger and the drive and the passion for the art, like it makes you try to work harder and because I was telling a friend of mine that Alfred Champong, he's also a very phenomenal character designer. On Instagram, his handle is YoQuick, and I was saying that like what I realize is that I want to work for studios and companies in the game and animation industry from the West and from the States. So if I am not on that international standard, there's no way they are going to bypass people living in the States or in Europe to come and hire me. So I have to get my work to the point where they can look at it and feel it's a valid decision to reach all over out into Africa and get to me to hire me. So like it really put in a drive and a passion to like keep working at the craft. Like every day I'm always learning from all of you guys and from all of the awesome artists spread across the globe, like just studying their work, watching tutorials, etc. And like in as much as I've come a long way, like there's still so much more to learn and to do. So like always keep on the grind.
It'll never end too. And honestly, so long as you have that desire and drive and need, and almost like a desperation to learn, you just moving forward at that point.
Yeah, that's so true.
Absolutely. I don't know. For me, I always enjoy a challenge whenever I'm taking on a new project or anything like that. So just thinking of getting to a point where I'm no longer learning or I'm no longer needing to improve, it just feels like that's the end of the road, right? Where else can I go as an artist if that's it? And that's not what you want to strive for, I think. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to be.
My thinking is like, at least for me, I've taken a break from social media, but even at work, I want to be better than I was last month, if not better than I was last week. And I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, but when you look at the work that you've done, last month or last week versus what you've done today, it's like, oh shit, I did that. Wait, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? I love that. I love when it all just like clicks so hard it gives you a headache. I love that.
I'm interested to hear, like, we got Marlon West on the call.
Yes.
I've been kind of ghosting, just been kind of hanging out.
I was getting, hey, you quiet.
Lurking.
He's like these young whippersnappers have no idea.
Yeah, you got to get in this. Come on.
Dude, I feel like a great pretender sitting up in here with y'all. So
come on.
Thrilled to be hanging over here in the corners, scribbling.
You've been in the game for a minute, man. Like, how you feel about like all the young, black talent coming in, and like the industry looks way different. Like, how you feel about that?
I mean, I feel it feels great. I mean, there were so few black people in this game when I got into it. We could all sit around, a table at a soul food restaurant,
Might be really, truth be told. It just have to be one of the extended tables,
Yeah.
Pretty small, man.
A fold-out table is what it is.
It's fun. It's wonderful, and it's not just animation, but illustrators and artists and writers. It's just it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, there's so many people on this call that I've never really met, and then so many new friends, like Everett and Phillip. That it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it. It's
awesome. It's good to see everybody all together too. I think one of the things is like I follow a lot of you guys just like art-wise in general, and I'll share art and I look at art, and I think that the fun thing about Instagram is that you can build a community even with people you're not in the same place with, and kind of showcase the work. And one of the things that I know for me is that I consistently have kind of said like, you know, I'll work for me personally in my job, because I do primarily live action, right? I've been working now, this is my 13th year. And last year was the first year that I ever sat at work with another Black artist.
Wow.
Wow. So the internet started to make the bridge, which was great, the bridge was, I recognize that, you know, you've got Chase and Justin and all these different people out there, and they all might be in different places and might feel similarly, but we're all out here. So it's like kind of like we have to start kind of like bridging that gap and working together, or trying to work together. But it did make me feel less alone, because I'm like, I'm just isolated, but I'm not alone, you know. So it was nice.
That's real though. Meeting up with like Phil and that, it's been really cool. Like it's really dope. Like I have enjoyed my last couple of years out here, just being able to connect with everybody off of social media. It feels like a community. For my first time in like 10 years, I really feel that way.
Yeah.
So I've been working in tech for a while. I'm at Twitter right now, and like I'm surprised at the amount of Black people I've interacted with. It's been more than any industry I've ever been at. It's more Black people in leadership, more Black people than any tech company or you know, any like studio I've been at in animation or in games or anything. It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, there used to be a time where I would walk down the street and I would see more homeless Black people begging for coin than I did in the studio. And I think that's just me.
I still do that. I live in San Francisco, girl. I'm the only Black person in my area. Like,
the last Black man in San Francisco.
I used to say that all the time, but like now that it's a movie, there was like a couple muggings that went on in a neighborhood, and we checked the neighborhood watch, and they described me, and I was like, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like, okay, let's see what's up.
You waited to see if you flinched. So we're gonna go that direction in the conversation. We're gonna talk about being profiled. I think we can have some discussions on that.
I'm logged off.
Somebody logged off. Like,
the conversation.
Not
gonna get me.
Somebody in some questions. What is your go-to theme that you always draw?
Could you say that again?
What's your go-to theme you always draw?
Oh, for me, I always draw either muscled women, like super beefy, queer muscle women, or hyper futuristic Black women, or solar punk Black women. I'm super into like Afrofuturism and also futurism, but I'm also like into the complete opposite. Like I love the Regency era and Edwardian period, and but I also love like the Byzantine and just like Greco-Roman.
So in other words, you like drawing everything. That's your go-to.
She's multifaceted.
I like it all. I love it all. I can't. I just listen. Costume design throughout the ages and fashion throughout the ages that's my shit. That's
here. I agree.
I gotta say, I've been doing effects animation for a long, long time, and really kind of, staying in my lane. And prior to this era, I just, I started doing these like ink drawing kind of tributes, and it's been really, really liberating. There was no way I would show my face up in something like this like a year ago, unless it was like to draw some splashes.
Yep.
But yeah, so this has been cool.
So I've got a question from Melinda Davidson. It says, can you describe the challenges you had being a person of color in the industry?
Oh. That's deep.
They are many, I'm sure.
How much time you got? How much time you got?
Everett, no.
That's a loaded question.
So just life in?
That can be an entire convention. What it's like.
Yeah. Do what you must.
Well,
I was going to say, I know for me, I'm probably, I don't know how many artists here actually draw graphic novels and comics on a regular, or I think all of you guys are pretty much animation and effects. But in my, my industry is, the biggest demographic is, 35 to 40-year-old and older Caucasian men. And so there's not a whole lot of diversity in their pantheon, I guess. And so when I first came in, I was drawing, from my experiences, graffiti, urban culture, so on and so forth. And it was put it this way, it was very, they were very opinionated about my selection of ethnic, drawing ethnic characters, or drawing characters that have a little more to them than normal in terms of their expressions and things of that nature. And a lot of that came from my experiences in culture, urban culture, and so on and so forth. So I liken that to the fact that they just didn't like my voice as a Black person. And so it made it extremely hard to be expressive and to show my voice early on. Thank God for certain characters that I got a chance to do, Black Panther and Luke Cage and stuff like that. But even then, it was like it took having to draw Black characters for them to get it, I guess, to some degree. And then I became the guy that drew the Black characters. So
Black characters, yeah.
Now you're typecasted, and now you can't really branch out of that.
Yeah, and losing them. So I said, well, this is what I'll do. I'll just quit Marvel and DC, and I'll go and I will draw Black characters, but they'll be my own. And now it's funny because that same look and style that I put into my own characters, I'm getting all kinds of requests from Marvel and DC. Hey, we want you to work on Spider-Man or what? I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same thing I was trying to do back then, but they didn't understand it until they understood it.
I mean, do you think it's a thing wherein because Bitterroot's been successful that now they're realizing, hey, maybe this is a thing?
100%.
100%. I call it the Black Panther effect. I mean,
that's it.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
They didn't realize it until they did. Like, wait a minute, you can make money from these guys?
What's the thing we kept hearing? Like, Black characters, they don't travel. They don't travel well, right?
What?
Oh no, I would pitch all the time. Pitch stuff with Black characters and like, Black characters don't travel well, It's
Listen,
like, what does that mean?
What Black characters do? What does that mean? Black characters do nothing. They just sit at home. They don't travel. They don't imagine. That's been, I think, my biggest gripe with sci-fi fantasy. Like, I grew up watching stuff like, I watched like Neverending Story and Goonies and all those, right? And wanting to go on an adventure. And then whenever it's time for us to go on an adventure, they always give us one. It's like, you can't just be and imagine. They're just like, well, you're a Vulcan, but you're also from the hood and you sell drugs. And it's like, why does it have to start there?
Why?
Why does it have to start there? Why can't my ceiling be high just like everybody else? Like, why can't I start from a place of empowerment or just imagine to dream? I think that's kind of where we are. And when you bring up, like, even working on Black Panther, that whole experience, I remember it was positive. So we were trying to work, and we knew that it was different. We knew that just the movie existing was different. Like, we knew just the fact that they were making it was different. And everybody wanted to do a good job and, pay, respect to all the different cultures and try to pull everything together. But we also had a thought process of knowing that there was going to be a lot of people that when it came out, then they're just like you guys said, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that makes money, that's successful. And it's like, we've been looking for this. Like, it's not a surprise. But I had a conversation with some friends the other day where they were saying, well, do you worry about the fact that now that it's successful, you're going to start getting all these people that just jump on the bandwagon? And I said, honestly, no, because that's also a part of it too, which is there's going to be people. It opened up a door for a bunch of different cultures and people to tell stories, right? So I want to hear, like, what do little Filipino kids, what lore do they hear that we never hear? Like, what's their King Arthur or what's their Robin? So it's going to open up the door for that, and it's going to open up the door for people that just want to make money. But regardless, both of those things together mean the visual changes. So regardless, it means the visual changes, the stories change. I think that's kind of where we want to go. So I think it's in a positive pipeline. It's just we need more of it. We need a lot more of it.
Right. I think something going back to your question about some of the difficulties of being Black while in the industry is me and Phil are both on the concept art side of things for live action games, things like that. And Phil's been in for a while before me, but he was also one of the very, very few who were in the game at that time. So, like, usually in the concept art community, it's very community driven, and finding someone who looks like you is almost impossible, especially for my generation of art. So knowing that I had to take a different approach was a huge thing that actually took me a cool minute, because there would be certain things I just couldn't partake in, or certain things that I just didn't understand. But also on the other end, there was different things that people just wouldn't understand me. Like, for example, they'll say something like, "Oh, let's go here," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't got money for that," But like little things like that, just coming from a totally different community and a totally different economic background, etc. It made it really difficult until I found the very few who were in the industry, and it kind of opened things up.
Somebody used all the layers. Who used all the layers up? Come on, y'all.
Me. Oh, Drew, this beautiful pink woman up here. Can I color this?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I figured someone would get the hint and delete some of these layers, but
wait, what layer is she on? Who drew this? I must know.
Is that
that's the thumbnails.
I'm gonna color. Color.
Do
Can you combine layers? Can we merge layers?
I think you can.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, okay, let me see if I can merge down.
Man, I tell you, if there's one thing that's missing from the industry right now is Black concept artists, man.
I don't know. I'm up in the Bay Area, and I have not met any other concept artists that are Black.
Yeah.
So hard, dude.
It's tricky.
It's pretty tricky. I mean, and we end up when we are there, we end up kind of being spread out. So I think it's kind of it's been nice to have more people join. My goal has been to try to also go and talk to kids, because if we can get kids, they'll know that it's a job earlier. And that's a key. I think that's the key thing. I didn't come to concept art until way later. You know, even in terms of, I just knew I liked to draw. So I went for a general illustration degree. And then I kind of combined my love of characters into finding costume. But it wasn't like, I was like, oh, I'm going to be that thing. Whereas like, I always know that I remember a day, I think it was like, I mean, if you grew up in California, there was always like rainy day schedules, like, or like you'd have an auditorium and you go and they put some show on or something or have a program. I remember in first or second grade, this guy came and he was a marionette puppet show guy. He did like a show for Aladdin. So he's controlling 2 marionettes and he's got moving parts and camels and all kinds of stuff. And I just remember it being really cool. And I still remember that. And that was like in first or second grade. So I figured like, even though I didn't become that, I still remembered it. So I was like, if we go and we start talking to kids, they might just ignore it. And then later on, you know what? That was cool. What was that? I think it's just, we need to do more of that. I think it's like an outreach type thing.
Yeah.
To make more, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I think when you start reaching artists young, you can not only show them like, oh, hey, look, I look like you and I'm out here doing the damn thing. And especially if they're going to like an art high school like I went to, then that just shows them that, okay, it's not so impossible out there. It's not so difficult. Like, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge, but if I could do it, then what's stopping you from doing it too, you know?
Right.
And I don't know, but I'm also like of the opinion that, you know, being not only surrounded by just like, you know, Black artists, but just like an international hodgepodge, I think is such a beautiful thing, because I went to an international university and at least 75% of the students were international, and I loved it. Honestly, I learned so much, and it's done so much for my storytelling, not only for my portfolio but also just for fun and for work too. And it's given me much more of an appreciation than I already have for different cultures and more of a respect for them, which I mean I obviously already have, but it's like I want to do right by the people that I've met throughout my life that are from different parts of the world, you know. I feel like if we could teach that to people when they're young, then it opens the door for like endless possibilities of some awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we're like, so on the movie that I'm working on, we were trying to just fill it with Black folk. And you know, we were too late on Everett. We were like, Everett, please.
And I'm telling you, Justin, when I went up there, I was like, oh man, are you kidding me?
I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because
it worked out okay.
Yeah, we doing our thing, you know. But there's so many artists out there, you know. I'm just like, man, I need to find a way to just reach everybody, man. You know, I think that's, you know, there's the younger version of ourselves times 1,000.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think to your point, Justin, you know, being intentional from the academic side. I teach this master class at a historical Black institution.
Nice.
And
that's amazing.
It's at Benedict College, and all you guys are invited to come speak. As a matter of fact, I think I got a few of my students in here right now. They're watching.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome. Hello, students.
Hello, students.
Oh, fellow teens.
You guys need to wave. We need to wave my students. They're waving. I don't know what they're doing, but my goal is to be intentional with giving as much opportunities to these young Black creators as possible, because at the end of the day, someone mentioned it earlier, you know, you have this education where you start, you know, in high school, maybe even middle school. The resources are there in so many different places, and a lot of times we you know, our people, if you will, we just don't have those resources. You know, we're in, you know, public school, and you know, the resources are very spread thin. I've seen it 10 times over. Every time I go to a convention, a handful of parents come up to me, you know, Black parents, and they are distraught because their child loves this kind of stuff, but they have no idea what to do with them because no resources. There's just not a lot of resources out there, and that's where it just kind of I started to think about the void that's there, and the need, you know, of giving them that opportunity or that access. Because I think a lot of times, you know, I think we can all safely say we all learned a lot just being interested in this stuff. Like, you don't have to go to school necessarily to.
No, not at all.
Right? You just learn. You know, school helps, but your drive and your determination is really what got you here.
Yeah.
On top of the talent. But I think it's also something to be said about, even if you have all of that, just, you know, just being honest, we don't have those opportunities like some others would. Even if you are talented, even if you do have the drive, even if you do have, you know, the skill set. If you don't have the necessarily access resources, if you will, you know, there's 9 times out of 10 someone else who may not be as talented, but they have the resources, they get the opportunities.
I hate that. Don't even get me started.
One of the things that always causes me anxiety about that is that I think about, like, right now, I'm sitting in my system, right? And I got 3 screens, I have all this equipment. And I'm like, how do I get this thing to them? I think that, especially if you're going to a neighborhood, so it's like, I'll try and do demos, I try to stuff, but it's like ultimately trying to get the school system to offer support having those things. That's always a little trick, you know,
I mean, that's why I like what we're working in right now, though. Like, it's so sick that Bobby and them did this, because this is legit.
Absolutely.
You have to pay for it. You don't have to steal it. You don't have to do it.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Got it.
I even feel like there's some young folks who can't even see this, though. They don't even have.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
To get on YouTube, you know. And it's heartbreaking, you know, because you think, yo, that's me, you know.
Yeah.
But I think if you want it bad enough, man, you'll keep climbing that mountain.
Oh, if you want it bad enough, you'll do anything. Like, from scouring the web when you don't have the money to buy concept art books, or you don't have the money to go to Brainstorm or CGMA, you know, looking for people like me. I mentor students and graduate, and people who graduated for free. Like, I send them things like sketchbooks, or the next thing I'm going to send them is like the character design quarterly, you know. So it's like being on the lookout for where you can find like those little pots of gold, you know. When you want it, you'll find it.
Oh, trust me, I've learned more about how to rip off stuff from students. Like, that? Hey.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, like, not even as a kid, even in college, like, I would just go to the library and just copy stuff. Just you know, grab stuff, copy it, you know, or you know, check it out, take to my job when I got a copy machine at Albertsons or whatever, and sneak it in and copy the whole book, you know.
Oh, okay, Everett, I'll do you one better.
I was low-key looking at that like, that's a good idea now.
I'll do you one better. My nana for Black Enterprise magazine, and I'd always go over and like hang out with her for like, you know, for years. I would print out at least 200 to 300 pages of art and writing, and I would just like learn. Yes, a waste of paper. I would never do that now.
Is it though? Look where you at. Look where you at.
It's a lot of paper.
I mean, like, this would be like per visit. Sometimes I would print a lot per visit. That also meant like I would stay up all night learning, and I was in middle school at the time, you know, so it went somewhere.
Definitely. Like when I was a kid, I was really lucky because I had like a ring of friends who bought those how to draw manga books, and then they would just like we would rotate them amongst ourselves. So it was like community learning, and we would all have little sketchbooks that we would draw in together. So, and there's so many artists that upload free tutorials nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Very true. And
I like how Everett, he didn't quite go into his old man voice like I would do, like. You go to the library. Look up how to draw a horse. You had to go get a book down and how to draw it. That's exactly what me. All my team.
You did what you have to. You did what you had
to.
It's always fun to watch the kids respond to when they say, "What's one of your resources?" And I say, "Sometimes I go to the library," and they're like, like they all just like,
they're like, nah,
they're like vampires to garlic, like
yeah.
I should tell you. So when I was in high school, the library for us was the hot spot. We would always hang out. Now, you know, you're supposed to, you know, shut your mouth in the library. We would play like death metal, and we'd find us all. It was like 30 of us. You'd find us like all in a corner, head banging, taking butts out, reading, drawing. You know, it was that was our spot. We left high school. We would walk up the Fordham Hill. We go to the Fordham Library, and we would hang out at the park nearby. Oh, I miss it. It was a hot mess. We were a hot mess, but I miss it.
I was lucky because I got two brothers that draw. You know,
nice.
Yeah.
We push each other. We were really mean to each other.
Feel the dish. Let's hear it.
Close that book. Stop copying. You know, blah blah blah. But it really pushes you. You know, so we were definitely blessed. You know, in that sense.
Who's the other brother?
What?
Who's the other brother, Justin? I know it's you and Chris.
And my brother Brenton. You met him before.
I met him, but I didn't know he drew, man.
Oh yeah, he could draw. That fool was a beast. He's just self animation. Yeah.
He didn't want to do the animation thing.
He saw us at that sweatshop at Marvel, and he was like, "Hell,
I'm good.
You got to have one of them drawing tables."
And
like, y'all have fun with that.
Comes out. It's only 7 p.m. and the shade comes out.
No thanks.
Yeah.
And I mean, like what you guys are saying about accessibility to like resources, it's so true. Like it makes like things easier for you to like it makes it easier for you to like learn more about like the industry and the craft, because luckily for me, I had internet access much earlier. So like when I was younger, so and my friend introduced me to a website called One Manga. So that's where I started reading manga.
Yeah.
Naruto, Bleach, and all of those. Yeah, other ones. So like I got hooked onto those comics because I didn't really start out with like DC, Marvel. Like it was manga that really got me interested in like the industry, and like I kept reading it, and by reading it like and finding other resources on like YouTube and other artists across social media, I was like, you know what, Kofi, you don't have the opportunity to go out to the States to study for art, but what you do have is the internet. And if you search hard enough and you are disciplined enough to apply the information you find and you work hard, you'll be able to like achieve the kind of success you look for. So at first I used to mess around with social media, just checking up on what my friends are doing, etc., and sending funny jokes and stuff. But like what came to my mind was like, you know what, all of these other artists have social media accounts. So if you can find the dopest artists across the globe, you can like follow them and find out like what kind of books are they reading, what kind of resources are they recommending. So that's what I started doing. Like I started like seeking out different creatives and artists, and like I could be following one person and they'll be like, oh, I just studied from like maybe a Gumroad tutorial, and they give you the title. So like I go and search for that tutorial, I download it, or I buy it, download it, and then I go through it, and then I've gained an additional thing to my skill set. And I kept doing that, watching YouTube tutorials, etc., and putting in the work, and eventually like putting on my work as well. Like I started to get some kind of recognition, and we kept going from there, and things kept moving. So yeah, it's access to resources really help to get you the information, and also to get you started in the industry.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, on that note,
Right here, you know what I'm saying? People focus.
that note, draw every day, kids.
It's crazy.
That's why it's after dinner. Yeah.
Definitely. And even having, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I had a question. What project are you guys excited about that you can talk about?
Oh.
That's like the worst.
What's up, man?
I literally don't know what I can say.
While trying to keep our job.
Okay, well,
I'm excited about Sanford's projects. I'm excited about everybody's project because it seems like everybody right now is getting the look they deserve. Maybe not everybody, but that's going to change also. But
yeah,
I'm excited to see, you know.
Well, is there something that you worked on that's already out there that you feel proud of?
Mandalorian 2.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
The Doom trailer, bro, that got me.
Oh, that looks sick.
Yeah.
Put my life on the line and go watch that one.
I'm really excited for I'm a color stylist. Look, not color stylist, I'm a colorist for DC Comics, and I'm really excited for our Nubia, the Real One comic, which focuses on Wonder Woman's twin sister Nubia, but it's like set in like this. It's set in like now, and it's lit. It's wild how current and scary it is because it's brutality and like kids black kids getting shot. It's just.
Did you say the Real One?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. That's cool.
Let me get this straight. The real one?
The real one?
Yeah, the real one. The real one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that down in my field notes.
Yes, you can pre-order it on the DC Comics website actually.
Oh.
It's really good. It's yeah. It's fun.
Who's your editor on that? Is it
do you know Sarah Miller?
No. Do you have is Brittany? Is her name Brittany? Jeez. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of women editors over there now, which is pretty.
No,
as a matter of fact, there are 2 women editors in chief.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I don't know Sarah, but I'm pretty sure she sounds awesome. She's doing Nubia.
It's a stunning project. It really is. Yeah.
Is it a graphic novel? Is it a graphic? Is it a
so you know how DC Comics has been doing their young adult graphic novels recently, and they've got like a whole slew of them coming out. This is part of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So exciting.
That's dope.
Real dope.
Oh, okay. One more thing I'm excited for. This is just putting it out there so that y'all can all wish me good luck. But I'm pitching to Netflix in a couple days. So,
Yes. Yes.
Excited. I'm real nervous.
It's so good. Brie, all the good vibes. It's beautiful.
Good vibes. Thank you. Excited.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Are you pitching a animated series or live action or?
Animated. It's it's in the middle of kids and family and young adult. But I'm hoping that in like a year or two, if I'm still at Netflix, I want to pitch to adult animation, a Black cyberpunk adult animated series. So
I've been trying to do that for a minute. I fall in the same spot, right between kids and adult, and that's a tough spot to move in.
It's a tough spot. It is. Yeah. It really is.
That's gonna go away soon. I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
I'm surprised that it still exists because it's like old because like you'd only need that for selling toys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Netflix doesn't usually make sense to me, but it's going away. Good.
Yeah.
I'll go too. I'll say while we're on good news, me and Mike and our friend Aldis, we started over COVID. In the spirit of what we're talking about right now, back in February, we did a drink and draw
nice
event.
That was
the Afrofuturistic thing, and seeing everybody together really made us think. So over COVID, we're actually finalizing right now. We started a Black-owned concept art house.
Oh,
nice. So
that's amazing.
So we're starting that now. We've got work. We're going to start basically trying to develop projects, world build. And so I definitely think that that's something that was needed.
Yes.
And trying to be able to, that's why I talk a lot about supporting our community, is trying to kind of give back, but also providing means for, because, you meet friends and people and they want to develop ideas, but they don't have access to people like us. They don't have the resources to be able to go, like, I've got a really good idea, but I need some concept art, or I need some, some animation or some characters or whatever. So I wanted to provide a place where we could do that. So,
amazing.
So seconding that, one of the big things too is that we've noticed that there's a lot of projects in the industry where they're Black centric, but they don't have any Black artists on them.
Right.
And we're kind of like, yo, so why aren't we the first people that they call for that type of work? So we're doing that so it could be like a spot for all of us to, receive that type of work and them know like exactly where to go instead of them having to ask people who don't look like us where to get these things or how to dig deep into the culture that, certain people are not a part of. So
I'm finna hit y'all up right now.
Call me.
I'll like in contact after this.
I'm getting all y'all information after this, just so y'all.
I expect a very long group email in my email.
Bring it all back together.
All of us.
While we're talking about that too, about what we've been watching, it's also been a really great time for Black sci-fi. So we had Watchmen, which was awesome. And now we're getting
great.
Watchmen was great, and now we're getting Lovecraft Country, which I'm just like okay,
killing it.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying just the playfulness, like just being able to have people, dropped in situations, but also just giving them that same treatment. Creatures, props, vehicles, like whatever it is, I want to see all of it. So.
Our movie is, it's like every character is Black, so there is something about having a Black artist on where you don't got to explain.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And it's funny how, like, I don't want to, put anybody in blast, but like how undervalued that is.
Yeah.
Like I've been in studios and I've been like, oh, okay, they got a couple Black characters up in there. They're gonna talk to me at some point. Nobody talks to me. I'm like, oh, okay. Nobody want to show up with the one black dude at your studio. If your black characters are cool, that's cool.
Noted.
That's a little bit too close to home.
There's also
like, okay.
The thing that's hard is that there's nuance in that too, right? Where that'll happen, but then the opposite is also just as equally as offensive. Like if you're sitting there and then they all start saying like, I wonder who would know about this. You know, like,
no, that's the realest thing ever.
Everybody kind of just hope she'll jump in. Yeah.
There was one time we're literally sitting at a table. I'm the only black guy there, and they're like, "You guys know anyone who would know anything about soul food?" And I'm like, "Don't you just ask me?"
That's where you don't even look at them. You just keep eating. You know, you just don't even look at them.
You don't even answer.
Exactly what happened. I was just like,
"Don't answer."
Does anyone?
You don't even answer at that point. You just keep eating your soul food.
Ridiculous.
Anyone know of any good soul food places around me? Like,
the way you said it killed me.
Literally the way it was said. Oh my bruh.
Why do they have to drag the word soul?
I find that a lot of people, a lot of people, when they're about to say something that's awkward or weird, they'll drag it out, or they'll
drag that.
Yeah.
They'll say it slower, which makes it worse. Like,
I love it.
It would have been bad just regular, but slow.
Right. It just digs into your heart, just like
lean into it. I'll lean into like, what are you saying? No,
keep a straight face.
I can't spit it out.
I know one of the things that we've been like trying to do is like, because you know, black folks being, you know, like the industry being so diverse in terms of story. The thing of like lighting a black person. You know?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Nah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, before you continue, can I just say?
I have a lot.
Lit a fuse.
Need more black characters on screen that are darker than a cup of coffee, please.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
That's all.
Are we having the colorism talk? Is that?
Are we having a paper bag? What is it called? The paper bag talk? Is that what this is?
Paper bag test.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you know, just starting to set.
Did I went too quick on that one?
Wow.
Just starting to set the standard, you know, of like. Of all of that, and we use like, you know, we use Insecure a lot for reference.
I was gonna say Insecure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Insecure like
gorgeous,
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, what else? You know, can we do? Like, just taking the game to the next level. You know, that's like
100.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends who deals with lighting characters specifically, or lighting environments, lighting everything. He put out a big post about the lack of the ability or the lack of skill in lighting black characters, especially in animation.
Yeah.
And he did a huge talk, and basically what it equated to was most people don't realize that black skin reacts totally differently to light than say white skin, right? Like our skin colors tend to reflect color, whereas the others absorb color. That's a totally different aesthetic that you would need for that. And yeah, he got a lot of backlash for it, but I was happy that he put it out.
No, you gotta do it. You gotta let them know.
Chrystin, what were you gonna say? I need to know. I heard.
Well, I was just gonna say, I was gonna reflect back to the conversation that you and I were having earlier about how there needs to be more room for nuance in black characters in animation.
Yes. Oh, okay. Not every. Okay, never mind.
Well, yeah, it's true. Like we don't all come in the same shade, right? Like
yes. We don't all wear the same hairstyle. Thank you.
Exactly.
First of all, and some of us dye our hair. Like the back of my hair is yellow. We don't all have black hair. You know?
You mean everyone doesn't have to wear afros and have goatees only?
No.
Maybe a flat top if we're lucky. You mean that's not it? There's more.
There's different ways to wear head wraps.
Listen, we're a long ways from that talk, at least in terms of like we're there and trying to get people to figure it out. I've been in places where you're just doing even just a character, and I say, "Can I diversify this character a little bit?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And, and then I'll be like, "Can I change them up?" And they're just like, "Okay, change the hair color." And I'm like, "Not what I meant." And they're like, "Okay, add some freckles." And I'm like, "Still not what I meant." Like, so it's a little hard. It's like baby steps,
Yeah.
This is true.
I'll tell you what, I'm taking notes because my next venture is Bitterroot becoming a film, and everything you guys are saying.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited about that.
So you're gonna hire all of us for that then, right?
I'm busy that day.
That is, me and Justin, we've been talking about that, about taking over, this blackout, call it blackout, Hollywood blackout.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny. People reached out to me about Lovecraft Country, and it's interesting because in their head, well, it's Black people fighting monsters. You guys got a book about Black people fighting monsters. I'm like, well, there's room for stories with
Oh yeah.
But I think that's just kind of that weird dichotomy of how it can only be one.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a million stories that we can tell with diverse voices.
Yep.
That and the fact that they tell the same stories over and over again, and then they pigeonhole us. I'm like, if I see one more movie about Robin Hood, I don't care how many times you do it, I'm done. I'm done. I am done. I don't want to
who's about to write World Star?
Flip his sword ever again.
Okay, well, we're calling out movie tropes.
Was someone about to write World Star in the corner?
Yeah, you're gonna write World Star.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
I was gonna write World Star, but it's so tiny, I can't write it in there.
That's exactly what I was drawing.
Like, honestly though, if we're calling out really poor choices made for Black characters in film, I never want to see another Black character be an animal or a creature of some
Yes.
sort.
They're Black for 2 seconds of the movie.
I want that.
No, but in Star Trek, but he got all this makeup on his face, bro. The sex is in line, right? Like, how you gonna put makeup on his face?
Well, because the underlying takeaway from that, right, and it may or may not be intentional. However, the underlying takeaway is that Black people are replaceable with the other, right?
Right.
And that's the issue, because we're not aliens. We're not monsters. We're people just like everybody else. But why is that? That's the shortcut, in film and in television.
If Dragon Ball Z can make us green, I guess they figured they could make us into birds. So
it's a way of you need that element in your story, but you don't got people around there that can add to that, who you're working with, because you don't got no Black people working with you. And so, all right, maybe something else. And that way, you can put those elements in without having those people around. But hopefully we're trending away from that, knock on wood.
Yeah, I feel like we are. I feel like we're definitely
so sorry to cut in. Hate to cut in on the conversation. We're about 20 minutes past the hour, but
All right. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I know, I wish we could keep going all night. This is fun. It's so great watching all of you draw. It's awesome. We're actually going to save this piece so we don't lose it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much all for being here. This has been awesome. We're going to show our promotion one more time. So again, we have a Lightbox exclusive offer, 10% off Mobile Studio Pro with the code Lightbox20. Just visit that link right below, and that's where you can get that discount.
Awesome.
We also have Cartoon Crunch coming up next week. We have a few animation workshops. The following week, we're going to actually debut our mini series. And then finally, that Saturday, we will have our popcorn premiere party where our student animators will show off the animations they made. So it's going to be lots of fun. I hope everybody here can join us for that. Thank you so much to our panelists again for being here. Thank you so much to Dwight for hosting with me. And everybody have a great night.
Thank you so much for having us. This was awesome.
Thank you. Bye.
It was awesome, everybody. It was really fun.
That email. I want to hear from all of you.
Group email.
Find you.
We gotta pull this together, y'all.
Bye, Kofi. Bye, Brie.
Yo, bye guys.
Cheese.
Come to you guys later.
Chase destroyed us.
Sitting out.